Bene, multis sultis in dubio velit, quasam quaestiones moveres, oratoribus ponere.
Abeo son omnibus vobis qui sunt proponentes Latinitas vive. Ante aliquantos annos certe coepit hic battagliae disputatio circum quaestionem tant est cur debeamus discere linguas classicas si iam sunt tam multae translationes, versationes textorum classicorum quos volumus legere. Quod indicatis
Sì, non pedet vos iterum audire vocem meam scriptum, bonam respondere. Quia est questio, que exagitatur etiam in Italia setissime. Cur debeamus legere Ciceronem aut Platone, legimus Tolstoi nostris linguis, perennem novit linguam russicam aut rutenicam, ergo cur non possimus legere Platonem aut Ciceronem ad is linguis. Bene, difficultas pendet prosus ab eare quam luce collustravit professor David. Nam illa notio non habeo verbum latino, originalitatis signoscite est verbum pessimum, sed non possum aliter dicere, quia lingua latina non est. Illa notio originalitatis, que exorta est plus minus etate romantica, iam ante afluerum quidam qui innuerent, sed etate romantica habuit vires et vigorem, illa notio effecitut nunc nos potius curemus de argumento quam de forma. Et ergo revera non quamquam amittimus quedam praesentem in carminibus, ni lominus possumus satis bene legere Tolstoi italice, gallice, hispanice. Percipimus eaque Tolstoi nobis tradere voluerunt. Abud antiquos, vero, ipsa forma erat maximi momenti, ado erat maximi momenti, ut homines qui vellent in republica versari, aut qui vellent milites fieri summi momenti, adibant magistros rhetorici. Et la forma erat maximi momenti quia argumenta de promebantur ex locis communibus, ex sedibus domiciliis argumentorum. Et sicut nos possumus intellegere fortasse in alis artibus, non è? Donatellus et Michaelangelus effinxerunt Davidem, sed alius alio modo, quamquam fabula quæsumus est eadem. Et Donatellus et Michaelangelus uterque cogitavit de illa fabula quae est in Sacra Scriptura. Sed forma qua effinxerunt effecitut omnino ali sint, omnino diversi sint inter se, diversa sint signa que Michelangelus et Donatellus fecerunt. Ergo, illa forma est summi momenti. Et nunc proponam exemplum. Cicero dicit in initio orationis pro Marcello, vos fortassem in ministris quid factum sit, Caesar potitus erat imperio, Marcellus erat exilio multatus, quidam senatores postularunt ut Marcellus admitteretur iterum, Caesar primum negavit, postea omnes assurrexerunt, Caesar redit in se et concessit. Ergo Cicero, qui iam Dius ilebat, surrexit et cepit loco. Et plus minus is verbis allocutus est Caesar. Diuturni silenzi, patres conscripti, quo eram is temporibus usus, non timore aliquot, sed partim dolore, partim verecundia, finem odiernos dies attulit, idemque initium, quae bellem, quae sentirem, neo pristino more dicem. Ergo, est pulcherrima sententia. Sed in hac sententia nos videmus fluxum temporis, quia videmus diuturnum silenzium, in initio. id est antea ego silebam, tacebam, dius illui. Et dein videmus causas. Perquia fortas interrogamus, ad causa Cicerono locutum iam. Et illi dicit, non timore aliquo, sed partim dolore, partim verecundia, habemus parallelismo. Et fortia dicit, finem, es finis, hodiermus dies, hic habemus cardo, sicut in janua. Es cardo, qui apfert finem, qui est antea, et initium, qui est postea. Finem hodiermus dies, idemque initium. Initium cuius rei, quid initium habet? Initium queque bellem, queque sentirem meo pristino more, dicendi. Tota sententia initium habebat per silentium, et finem habet per verbum dicendi. Nun quid faciunt magistelli qui construunt, et recte dicebat humaniste, hoc potius debet dici destruere quam construere. Quid faciunt magistelli? Scholis dicunt, bene, nunc inveniamus subiectum. Et ubi est subiectum? Hodiermus dies, bene, ponamus in initio. Voi in initio, es cardo totius rei, debet esse in medio. Ponamus in initio. Hodiermus dies attulit finem, et idem dies attulit initium, dicendi, que bellem, queque sentirem, meo pristino more. Attulit finem diuturni silenzi, et attulit initium, dicendi, que bellem, et queque sentirem, meo pristino more. Et ubi est as? Ubi est illa constructio? Vera constructio, Ciceronis. Ed ein, come poterimus revera discernere inter vocabula, e intellegere quid dicere voluere in antiqui, si tantum modo per interprete so faciamus. Fortasse, tamen, scitis et hac de causa de bemus loci de methodis. Quia scitis qua de causa talia dicam, in recto sum, quia dicut, non possunt nostri discipuli amittere sexa ut septem annos neque postea posse leggere textus. Ot in recto sum, non possumus diffidere, non possumus negare. Ergo debemus demonstrare discipulos posse uno, duobus annis summum, non magno negotio, sed quadamcum delectatione per venire ad leggendosi los textus. Et si hoc demonstravemus, dein argumenta quae afferent erunt nimis in firma. Sed argumenta nunc sunt solida. Non possunt rebus sixtantibus, ut sunt res nunc. Nostra etate, qua tot res necessarie sunt discende. Non possunt discipuli per 6 annos, senis oris, quinis oris singulis et donatibus, operam dare quidam discipline quam nunquam discunt. Est res absurda. Aimmo, quam discunt Odisse. Et est quod dicere.
I ask you to forgive me for talking English. I can't tell you. I can't tell you how impressed I am. You eloquence is out of this world, so forgive me for talking English. But I just had a small remark to you, and then a question to David about Friedrich August Wolff. I just would like to say what I was pointing out is you're absolutely right that Wolff was aiming at something else than we are, so to speak. That is absolutely true, and I do not deny that. But at the same time, I've just found out that at the schools where Wolff was not teaching, Wolff was only teaching at school for 3 years in his life. He was at the university. Yes. At the schools, most teachers up to the First World War were defending classical studies in terms very, very similar to the ones you are proposing here today. And I've read their scriptures. I've read 450 of their writings, and they are very, very similar to what you're saying. At the schools, up to the First World War. So the only point I was making, let's not say that Wolff was kind of, Wolff was the only classicist in Germany.
Wolff was Lucas, huh?
Enough. Yeah.
Yes, all
Dolz, quis exerunt medium seculo XI, secuti sum presso fede et atque volfius dixerat, et inde fluxerunt omnes grammatice, ilius Schulz et multor majorum, quas imitatis sunt Itali, Hispani, Galli et Portugali. Praeserti in propria causas politicas optis in Mariola, quia voleva resistere scholis catholicis, et scholis universum, et de causa minimi modum, et metodi ceperunt in Germania, sed vulgaris sunt statim praesertim in regionibus catholicis, quia volevant pugnare contra Jesuitas, non in merito, subisa voce
Okay, I understand. But it's well interesting to realize that there's a kind of sub-layer of humanism staying whereas something else. Yeah, the question to David actually, that is, just a response to your talk. Because I just want shortly to make 2 points. In the first place, I really find that that we should believe that it is really not more complicated to teach Latin actively, what you're saying. It is much less complicated. And I would just want to, like you point out, the example of Abel, which you know, but perhaps not everybody knows. But Abel was in a Dutch school for 4 years, and he did not learn Latin. He was just having difficulties and despair as well. And he went to Rome, and he learned to read it fluently, and even to speak it, but above all to read it and to understand it in 5 months. So you can't just deny that it is much more easy. And I think it is off the point to say that it's more complicated. So that's my first thing. The second thing is the historical analysis you're giving is no doubt absolutely right. So you're pointing out that there are historical causes which make living Latin more complicated nowadays than it was in the past. And you're right, of course we have this romanticism and originality and fascism, all those historical currents have been there, and they do complicate living Latin. But the central question is, what is the point of highlighting those historical impossibilities? Whereas the true question is, are you, David, personally going to teach it in another way yourself or not? And that is not dependent on historical causes at all. That is dependent on your own free will and your decision. So there is a little tendency to insincerity in your talk, because I've been counting, you have been saying 4 times that you sincerely hope that our project of enlivening Latin will succeed, whereas you were in fact pleading against it. So I would like to respond to you to respond to
difficult to answer when judgment has apparently already been passed on what the sincerity of my intentions is. So I hesitate to go into detail, but I will try as a matter of courtesy. I do think that one should be realistic, and I am I'm completely sincere in my hope that education in Latin, in the classical languages, and this comprises the use of living Latinity, that will continue and flourish. But when being confronted with students from, well, actually all over the world at this moment, it's an international business at the academy, and seeing what they know and what they're able to do, and how far they still have to go in the simple, the very, very simple matters of attributing sense to words. I honestly doubt whether it is, well, no, it is my conviction that the first duty I have to perform is to do just that. And to do just that, that is try and make these young people look at a painting or listen to a piece of music, attribute sense to the poem. And it does not really matter to me from what region the painting or the music, piece of music or the poem, or what language it is. That is the first thing to do. As to Latin, my talk was about I said a few things about the 19th century, and I personally am not a believer. That's what I often feel in the living Latinity. It is a matter of belief. I personally prefer to watch from the wings, as it were. To watch from the wings, which is an English expression. From the sæcula. To be an active part of that tradition entails perhaps certain choices. I'm simply unsure whether I'm prepared to make those. There are, and perhaps if you want to call that insincerity, you're very welcome. I'm simply saying that I'm not completely sure whether I am.
That's perfectly sincere.
To do that.
That is perfectly sincere.
And to be unsure, that I admire, I live the life of our cultural tradition. That's my life. But Latin, it plays a certain part in it, and that was also part of my talk. Latin has also, you must know the thesis of Erich Auerbach, a great, absolutely spirited Romanist, who was actually criticizing the Shaw thesis. The criticism of Auerbach on the Carolingian Renaissance, on the having Latin die because making it canonical. Latin is very much alive in Gregory of Tours, which is that's a splendid, original, romantic sort of a text. What Auerbach does is he compares this to Einhard's life of Charlemagne and says it's absolutely dead. So what's happening in Einhard is that indeed Latin is killed because it is becoming a lingua franca, because it is canonized, because it is standardized, and it loses its identity and freshness. Now, this is, of course, what you deny, and I was flabbergasted. I deeply admire your words and the way you speak them. That is, but the argument is not set. The argument is difficult. Latin as a canonized language stretching through time, which is what you say, that's the great thing of Latin. It stretches through time, it begins, and then it simply remains the same. The same argument could be held for English, because Shakespeare made English in the same way as Virgil and Cicero made Latin. They by inventing a canonical form for it, they create the language, and it is a tradition, and with the tradition, politics, religion, and all sorts of things that perpetuate this language, which becomes more than a language, it becomes a discourse, and it contains all sorts of things which perhaps you do not want to be part of. So I would say I wish living Latinity well, and I will really try and be more eloquent in it, because you're setting a great example. But I will use it as a tool, as a tool for young people to enter a tradition which is very difficult for them to enter without. But it is not the way of life I want. It is a tool for to facilitate others to partake of the tradition. And that is, that's not.
Thank you very much.
Rispondere. Pro loro non tanto profluente latine non vi posso ut omnia kai dicere velin latine dicam und professores illi doctissimi quos valde admiro et illigo. Ero praestat me patatice responsus messe.
Ita, patatice aut anglice fortasse melius. Si molestia non est, veni huc quaeso ut omnes te vene auda.
Well, it's easier for me to express what I feel and what I think if I can say this in my own language. So I'm really nervous right now. Oké. Ja, toch?
Ja, meteen even.
Ik zou het kort. Ja, Nederlands even. En dan kunnen we misschien daarna nog even veranderen. Oké, ik heb klassieke talen gestudeerd. En omdat ik al vanaf heel vroeg een bepaalde liefde voor het Latijn voelde. En tijdens de studie kreeg ik niet wat ik had gehoopt. Ik had gehoopt als ik het ging studeren dat ik het kon leren spreken en kon leren schrijven en kon verstaan. En dat ik zelf, want ik wist dat ik wilde gaan lesgeven. Dus ik wist dat ik heel graag, of tenminste ik wilde actief Latijn kunnen. Want dan is het handig als je zinnetjes als voorbeelden op het bord kunt zetten, et cetera. En ik leerde dat niet. Dus ik ging verder kijken. En ik kwam op het internet kwam ik de methode van Urwerk tegen. En heb ik meteen aangeschaft en ik ben het gaan lezen. En het was echt, wauw, ik kon het lezen en ik begrijpen wat er stond. Ik leerde de verschillen tussen de woorden. En niet door een vertaling. Want bijna alle woorden die zien of kijken betekenen, worden in de methodes die wij in Nederland hebben, worden allemaal vertaald met zien en kijken. Er zijn heel veel verschillen tussen videre, aspicere, suspicere, kernere. Allemaal zitten verschillen tussen, maar het wordt allemaal op bijna dezelfde manier vertaald. En je kan dan niet de verschillen daartussen voelen. Dus ik merkte heel erg dat het ging helpen. Toen gebeurde ik geef nu 8 jaar les aan volwassenen. En ik ben met die methode gaan werken, omdat ik mijn studenten niet via die grammatica de taal wilde leren, maar ik wilde ze laten zien, je kan het ook meteen lezen. En het kan met lingua latina per se illustrata. En je kan het dan lezen. Of je nou VMBO hebt gedaan, of je nou HAVO hebt gedaan, of je nou VWO hebt gedaan, of op een gymnasium zit. Al mijn cursisten kunnen meekomen. Ik geef ook nou les op een middelbare school en veel discussie gehad met mijn collega's, want ik wilde heel graag op die viva ratione doceren. En mijn collega's die waren er iets wat huiverig voor, want alleen al het idee dat je in een klaslokaal Latijn gaat spreken tegen je leerlingen, dat stuit tegen nogal wat weerstand. En toch daarover gesproken. Ze hebben vertrouwen in mij als docent en met wat ik kan en wat ik over wil dragen. Dus ze hebben mij de vrijheid gegeven dit jaar om met de tweede klas deels met lingua latina te werken. En dat kan heel simpel, hè? Ik weet niet hoeveel tijd ik heb, maar het kan heel simpel door. Ik hoef dus niet zo goed, of tenminste, zo goed kan ik het nog niet op dit moment. Dat wil ik graag leren. Maar het kan heel simpel. Eces manus, sunt duae manus, et in manus sunt quinque digiti, et digitus primus vocator pollex. En dan kan ik aan mijn discipuli vragen, quomodo vocator digitus primus, et omnes discipuli respondent pollex. En op die manier krijg je een gesprek met je leerlingen en kan je ze Latijn leren. En we zijn echt veel sneller en harder door de stof heen gegaan, zonder dat ik heel veel jargon heb hoeven te gebruiken, zonder dat ik extra SO'tjes moet geven om ze maar te dwingen om die woorden te leren. Omdat ze het horen en zelf ook spreken, onthouden ze het beter. En hoef ik minder te toetsen, heb ik meer tijd om met ze Latijn te doen. En uiteindelijk tot dat doel te komen, want dat is het belangrijkste, denk ik. Het Latijn spreken is geen doel, het is een middel om die oude auteurs te kunnen begrijpen.
Bravo.
Prettig over.
So that we have no quarrel.
There is no quarrel. There is no quarrel, but there is a borrel. I'm ignoscit non tanem eloquenter loquor pro dolor sicut non uli hic. I'm going to finish this also in English. I'm non dum. Ignosca. Quid sunt
aliqui verunt etiam interrogare nescian litteris.
Sed
Modo breve
fortasse si non taidet quia boro est computatio et reveras. Sed fortasse quis
Michael voleva fare
Michael Ita, sed multum breviter, quia revera in quinqua minuta oportet relinquere aedem, est et possumus perdere loqui in popina. Ergo ita tibi licet.
Est quaestio tu dicebas de non habere proceres non habere compertum duc dele stare ad latus in hac quaestione de latinitate vivo che archibenda et culta qui non dum habes procerto mea quaestio vedet habere quid apportet facinamus ut tibi persuadere possimus, id est, si tibi praeremus homines et discipulos tales quales sunt Abel et Mundiali, qui artem volunt et ea volent, quid apportet faciamus, id est, haec est quaestum. In tu es magister lingua latinae, professor, immo, ergo tui est etiam collere et calere lingua et vede duos discipulos iam calere bene quam optime dixtrim, ergo hoc non est satis ex importatio non est, ergo est
Well, you don't really need to be persuaded of anything. What I find very persuasive is the clarity and the eloquence that I've heard today. So that is quite an incentive, I say. But I do not need to be persuaded of anything. I will go with you as far as I can.
If I one final question. Well, are there others? Because you already posed the question. I want you. Iam sunt aliqui questiones aut rogata avio.
Quis sunt alia discipuli universitatis, quis sunt pro dono nomera, vera mea vale litteris, omnes habeat as res.
Possum respondere. This is a free country, I'm afraid, Abel. So that one's that one. Nico, you had a very last one.
Maybe last question. Also
Yeah.
to Brother.
Yeah.
But first, I would like to say that I appreciate very much that you dare to stand up for the opposite opinion, because it was said in the program that there would be a.
I wouldn't call it the opposite. Yeah. I think.
I think in fact without the presence there would not be a disputation at all. So I appreciate it very much. But I have one question about this argument of yours, that you decide to use the language that students know best because you want to express certain abstract thoughts which they would grasp best if you use the language that they know best. And of course, I think this is a great argument. But I just doubt the validity of the argument in this context. I think it would, for example, apply if you were teaching such abstract things as theoretical physics. But in this case, you are dealing with students who come to study, who come to university to study a program in which they would like to, in which they want to grasp the thoughts of the ancient authors. They do not come to understand abstract physical principles, nor to understand abstract arguments of the professor. They in fact come there because they want to grasp these abstract thoughts that are formulated in the language. So when you argue that you want to use a language language in which they best understand abstract thoughts, I think you are not being well enough aware of the reason for which the students came there in the first place. Namely, because they want to grasp the abstract thoughts in that language.
So, wait, yeah, just let's see.
Just like to know.
Okay, David Reiser, please. Yes.
That is, I'm not talking about classicism. I'm talking about students that I teach in cultural history.
So that this means that if this were the case,
it's certainly much more feasible to use living Latin for classicism.
So
although I should want to discuss the Greek as well, because the Greek, I personally am a Greek, and I prefer Greek actually as a language, as a literature. But I was talking about general students, and I was talking about courses in cultural history, on the Renaissance, on the Middle Ages, on the history of Latin, which is also, of course, subject, but also on the connections between Tacitus and the Soprano.
So fair enough. But then, do I understand that you in fact teach your language classes in the ancient languages? Do I understand this from your?
I do teach language classes, in Latin language classes, but I also teach general, and we all do in university.
And Latin classes you teach in Latin?
No, I could decide to try and do so. I think that would entail a prolonged discussion and some severe battles, because the opposition would be enormous. But it might be well worthwhile, and it's I'm here to say to those who are already let's say converted. I'm here to say that I'm very much prepared to listen to arguments and to partake in the discussion. But there are many who are absolutely not. I can tell you that.
Yes.
I can tell you that for the moment.
I think we all.
That is the majority of classicists.
And that's essentially the problem.
And that's essentially the problem. And I think, and I'm going to close this now because we really need to go to the Boral. I just wanted to say some very last point here, and I think, first of all, I like to thank all the speakers, but all the public also for coming here. It was, I think, a very interesting afternoon. I heard a lot of new things. I was very interested by actually every talk we heard. I think, just as a closing remark, that David's presence was also extremely important, because I think he has given an insight in something which is I wouldn't call it the problem, but I think the marketing people always talk about challenges and so on, and business people. So it's not a problem; it's a challenge. Huh? The challenge here seems to be that there is right now a generation in the universities that, for certain reasons, and we can discuss all those reasons, but for certain reasons think that if they teach the language in the language itself, that they may be confused with the language and the ideas that have been that's the way I've understood your thing, and I think it's a very, very genuine and sincere doubt you have expressed, and a very important one. The only thing I'd like to say on this point is that I think that no generation, and that's actually the way I was introduced to the gymnasium, and I know we went to the same one. The main thing there was always that we were convinced, we were persuaded to always read the original. Why the original? Because you don't need others to tell you what others have said, especially when it comes to people who have actually constituted our culture. What I think is very important now is that we have to avoid that a generation that is now in these universities is, by not teaching the language itself in an accessible way, avoiding or impeding the new generations to get in touch with the past. That's, I think, what is at stake right now. I don't think teachers, of course everyone can have his own interpretations, his own ideology, whatever, but and that's actually also the reason why it was for me very important to found with others the Athenæum Illustre. It's just the convincement that we are not the ones to judge for future generations how they should read the classics. Of course, we have our bagage and our ideologies, etc., and we have our ways of interpreting. But are we allowed to throw away the key? And the key is a very simple one. The key is just learning the language. The language as such is not a message. The language has no culpa. Perhaps the writers, and I think writers have written everything, almost everything in Latin and also Greek, so you can't really say that one ideology. But that's, again, a personal thing of mine. I think the main point here is we should not lock up the past. We have excellent teachers who can actually teach the language, and they are also in the schools, and we should not be hampered, we should not be hindered by that. Well, that's my final remark, and that's also actually in a way, in a nutshell, the manifest, you could say, of Athenæum Illustre. I would like to thank you all very, very much again. We are going to continue this very nice afternoon in Kapitein Zeppels. There you can also speak with the teachers, the professors who are here from... Sorry? Yes, the boral will be in Kapitein Zeppels, not here. So we will continue there, and I hope to see a lot of you, although I know that some people, of course, have to leave. Thank you so much. I'm sure we'll repeat this, and till next time.